Hello. Hi.
Hey, hey!
So, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about balance in Arknights. Game balance can be a spicy topic, especially in gachas.
Spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
People play games for different reasons. Gachas seem to be usually split between the gameplay lords and the PNG kings. And to all my PNG kings out there, you're completely valid. I hope you get whoever you want on the next banner, and have a nice day. That being said, this video is geared towards people that care about gameplay. Oh, and some of the things I'll be talking about might make more sense if you've seen last week's video on power creep. There should be a link to it somewhere on screen if I've managed to figure out the YouTube magic. Now, let's have a little chat about the current state of balance in Arknights. It's good. Jokes aside, Arknights balance is in a good spot right now. The fact that Silver Ash was released with the game as the best character and managed to hold that title for over a year is impressive, and the person that finally did take his throne isn't that much stronger than him. Now, not everything is perfect. Some characters do feel like they've been left behind recently. This is less due to power creep and more due to current content just not favoring their niche. However, even when accounting for those that are left behind, a good 90% of the roster is still viable and fun to use. Oh, and don't worry, I'll get to that other 10% later in the video. So, why is Arknights balance so good? Arknights developers have to be given credit in this regard. If they were incompetent, greedy, or both, they could have absolutely ruined this part of the game by now. But they didn't, and as a man that really likes Arknights due to its gameplay, that means a lot to me. Besides that, I really think that Arknights' complexity as a game really helps its balance. Complex games have a much easier time allowing for niche and specialized characters to thrive. And while I'm not saying that Arknights is EVE Online, it does have a decent amount of mechanics that give a lot of wiggle room for what a powerful character can be. So, that's it. Arknights is just a really balanced game.
Maybe. I don't know. Not really.
So, I'm slightly worried about the future. While there aren't many balance issues right now, there could be in the future due to one specific policy that Yostar seems to have. For whatever reason, Arknights will not buff characters. As I talked about last week, buffs are one of the only easy and cheap balance tools left for gachas. So the seeming refusal to use them at all leaves Arknights on this dangerous tightrope that I don't know how long they can keep up. I'm afraid that if they're too stubborn in this regard, they could end up ruining or at least heavily damaging the balance of their game. All it would take would be a single character that is way too strong, and then a lot of what I find fun about the game, that being its challenge and skill expression, could be destroyed. Setting that aside for now, their hardline stance on buffs just kinda makes me sad. There are a ton of characters that I think are either really close to being viable, or at least really cool, but the way things are, they're just doomed. I've already dogged on Flamebringer, so let's use Hung as an example this time. In 90% of situations, he's just a worse Neural. Hell, some say he's worse than Gumi. I don't know if that's true, but I do think that if you have both Neural and Hung, the only reason you would use Hung is if you like his character. Gameplay-wise, the only thing he has going for him is that his skills charge from getting hit. The way the game is currently set up, that's just usually worse than the standard per second charge. But if that's the thing that makes him special, then why not lean into it? Buff Hung's defensive SP rate. That would make him noticeably better than Neural on maps with a lot of small units that attack really fast. Now, to clarify, even with this buff, Neural would probably still be better than Hung on most maps. But in the future, this change would allow for an event where Hung could really shine. This kind of niche but strong character design makes up a lot of my favorite characters in Arknights. Ifrit can either be the best or worst caster due to her really funky range. April's unique archetype as a fast redeploy sniper can make her either really clutch or really bad, and don't even get me started on this furry again. Some of my best memories with this game are when I'm trying to beat a map and then I find that someone who I don't use that often is actually really strong in this specific situation.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
And I just fear that without buffs as an option, not only do they have to worry about releasing a broken character, but characters that release just a little bit too weak don't have any real hope. Is any of this a real problem, or am I overreacting? I don't know. I mean, if they did a full 180 and were really trigger happy with the buffs, this could end up doing a lot more harm than it would good. And as I've said multiple times, the devs of this game have done an amazing job in so many different ways. So I guess for now, I can try to ignore these worries, and have faith that your star and Hypergriff know what they're doing.
会長が大事な話があるって。